All right, y'all, gather round and listen up. The story I am about to lay on you ain't no fairy tale. It's real, raw, and it changed everything I thought I knew about, well, everything. I was dead. Clinically, flatlined, toes up dead. 8 minutes. They said 8 minutes. And what I saw, what I felt. It flipped my world upside down, inside out. It might just do the same for you. So buckle up, put down that phone for a minute and really listen. 'Cause what I am about to tell you might just be the most important thing you ever hear. I truly believe God has a message for you, so pay attention. Before I dive into the craziness, drop a comment. Tell me where you are watching from, city and country. I am gonna try and read as many as I can, connect with y'all. Knowing you are out there, listening, makes this whole thing feel a little less like a dream or a nightmare, depending on how you look at it. My name's Mandy, and I am 28 years old. Well, was 28 years old before the big reset. I was a ballerina dancing in New York City. The city that never sleeps, a place that lives and breathes ambition, competition, and the relentless pursuit of, well, everything. And me? I was right there in the thick of it, chasing perfection. Now you gotta understand, being a ballerina in NYC ain't no walk in the park. It's cutthroat. It's years of grueling training, pushing your body past its breaking point, sacrificing everything for the fleeting chance to stand in the spotlight. From the time I was a little girl in Atlanta, all I ever wanted was to dance. My mama, bless her heart, she always said I had a fire in my soul, a way of moving that just told a story without words. But that fire, it almost consumed me. See, somewhere along the line, the joy got lost. The love of movement, the sheer exhilaration of flying across a stage, it got buried under layers of pressure. Pressure from teachers, pressure from other dancers, and most of all, pressure from myself. I was obsessed with perfect technique, flawless execution. Every arabesque had to be pristine. Every pirouette had to be spot on. I saw every mistake, every wobble, every imperfection as a personal failure. My whole life revolved around the studio. Rehearsals, auditions, physical therapy, obsessing over my diet. It was a non-stop grind. I barely slept. I rarely ate properly, and I definitely didn't have time for anything resembling a normal life. My friends tried to get me to go out, relax, have some fun, but I just couldn't. I was too afraid. Afraid of losing my edge, afraid of falling behind, afraid of not being good enough. That fear, that gnawing anxiety, it was always there, lurking beneath the surface. It poisoned my joy, stifled my creativity, and slowly but surely turned me into a shell of my former self. I was living a life that looked glamorous from the outside, but on the inside I was crumbling. I was desperately seeking validation, seeking acceptance, seeking something I couldn't even name. Spiritually, I was a mess. I'd grown up in a pretty religious household, went to church every Sunday, knew all the Bible stories, but somewhere along the line I drifted away. The rigidity, the judgment, the feeling that I was always falling short, it just didn't resonate with me anymore. I was searching for something deeper, something more authentic. I yearned for connection, for meaning, for a sense of purpose beyond the stage, but I just couldn't find it. I felt lost, adrift in a sea of ambition and anxiety. Honestly, I was starting to doubt if anything really mattered beyond the fleeting applause. So that's where I was. A tightly wound, perfection-obsessed ballerina, teetering on the edge of burnout, searching for something real in a world of glitter and illusion. And then, everything changed. It was during a particularly grueling rehearsal for a new ballet. The choreography was complex, demanding, pushing us all to our absolute limits. I was already exhausted, mentally and physically drained. But I pushed on, determined to nail every step, every turn. We were working on a particularly difficult sequence, a series of rapid turns and leaps that required perfect balance and timing. I'd been struggling with it all morning, feeling more and more frustrated with myself. Then it happened. In the middle of a turn, my ankle twisted. A sharp, searing pain shot up my leg. I lost my balance, stumbled, and fell hard, hitting my head on the unforgiving wooden floor. Everything went black. I remember feeling nothing. No pain, no fear, no anxiety. Just emptiness. And then, slowly, a sense of lightness, of freedom. It was like I was floating, drifting upwards, away from the pain, away from the stress, away from everything that had been weighing me down. I opened my eyes, and I was looking down at myself. I saw my body lying on the floor, surrounded by my fellow dancers, their faces etched with concern. I saw the paramedics rushing in, their movements urgent and precise. I saw them working on me, trying to revive me, and I felt detached, like I was watching a movie, observing a scene that had nothing to do with me. I realized then, with a chilling certainty, that I was no longer in my body. I was outside of it, floating above it, watching it from a distance. I was dead. Or at least, that's what it felt like. The next thing I knew, I was moving, traveling through a dark, swirling tunnel. It was like being sucked through a vacuum, propelled forward at an incredible speed. I felt a sense of anticipation, of excitement, mixed with a healthy dose of fear. I didn't know where I was going, what I was going to find. All I knew was that I was leaving everything behind. And then, suddenly, I emerged into the light. It wasn't like any light I'd ever seen before. It was pure, radiant, overflowing with love and compassion. It wasn't blinding, but it filled everything, permeated everything. It was like being bathed in a warm, comforting embrace. And then I saw them, beings of light, radiating peace and serenity. They weren't human, not exactly. They were more like energy, pure consciousness, expressed in a form that I could comprehend. They surrounded me, welcoming me, reassuring me. I felt instantly at peace, completely safe and loved. One of the beings stepped forward, and I knew, without being told, that this was a guide, a mentor, someone who was there to help me understand what was happening. "Welcome, Mandy," the being said, its voice a symphony of love and compassion. "You are safe here. There is nothing to fear." I looked around, taking in the surroundings. I was in a place that was both familiar and completely foreign. It looked like a dance studio, but it wasn't like any dance studio I'd ever seen. It was vast, limitless, filled with light and beauty. The walls seemed to shimmer and change, reflecting the emotions and thoughts of those who were present. And then I saw her. A young woman, dressed in a simple white dress, dancing with effortless grace and joy. She moved with a fluidity and expressiveness that I had never seen before. She wasn't focused on perfect technique, on flawless execution. She was simply dancing, expressing her soul through movement. "Who is that?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "That is you, Mandy," the guide replied. "Or rather, that is who you are meant to be." I watched her dance, mesmerized by her freedom, her joy, her vulnerability. And then I realized something profound. I had forgotten how to dance like that. I had let the pressure, the fear, the obsession with perfection steal my joy, stifle my creativity, and turn me into a rigid, joyless automaton. The guide smiled, a knowing, compassionate smile. You have become so focused on the how that you have forgotten the why, he said. You have become so obsessed with the external that you have neglected the internal. And then he showed me. He showed me my life, not just the highlights, but the moments of struggle, the moments of pain, the moments of fear. He showed me how I had let those moments define me, how I had allowed them to control me. He showed me how I had built walls around my heart, protecting myself from vulnerability, from pain, from love. He showed me the true potential of my dance, the power it had to heal, to inspire, to connect. But he also showed me how I was squandering that potential, how I was using my gift to seek validation, to seek approval, to fill a void that could never be filled with external achievements. Then the guide led me to a mirror, but it wasn't an ordinary mirror. It reflected not my physical appearance, but my soul. I saw the layers of fear, the layers of insecurity, the layers of self-doubt that had been masking my true self. And I saw beneath those layers a spark of light, a flicker of hope, a yearning for connection, for meaning, for love. This is who you truly are, Mandy, the guide said. This is the essence of your being. Do not let fear dim your light. Do not let insecurity steal your joy. Embrace your vulnerability. Express your soul. That is the true purpose of your dance. Then, the guide led me to a different place. A place that felt different. It wasn't dark exactly, but it wasn't light either. It was gray, muted, filled with a sense of sadness and despair. I saw people wandering aimlessly, their faces etched with pain and regret. They were trapped, lost in their own negativity, unable to find their way back to the light. This is what happens when you let fear control your life, the guide said. This is what happens when you disconnect from your soul. You become trapped in your own negativity, unable to experience the joy and love that is available to you. He showed me how my obsession with perfection had led me down a similar path. He showed me how I had become disconnected from my joy, from my creativity, from my own soul. And he showed me the consequences of that disconnection, the emptiness, the anxiety, the lack of purpose. You have a choice, Mandy, the guide said. You can continue down this path, allowing fear to control your life, or you can choose to embrace your vulnerability, express your soul, and live a life filled with love and joy. Then, he showed me the potential for my life, if I chose to embrace my true self. He showed me the impact I could have on others, the joy I could bring to the world, the love I could share. He showed me how my dance could be a source of healing, of inspiration, of connection. He showed me how I could use my gift to make a positive difference in the world. The message was clear. True artistry comes from expressing the soul, not from flawless execution. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about being real. It wasn't about impressing others. It was about connecting with them. It wasn't about achieving external success. It was about finding internal peace. And then, he showed me how the spiritual world operates, how the kingdom of God, heaven, relates to life on earth. He explained that we are all connected, that we are all part of a larger consciousness, a divine source of love and light. He explained that our thoughts and emotions create our reality, that we have the power to shape our own lives and the world around us. He explained that love is the most powerful force in the universe, that it has the power to heal, to transform, to create miracles. He said that heaven is not a place, but a state of being. It is the experience of being fully present, fully connected, fully aligned with our true selves and with the divine source of love and light. He said that we can experience heaven on earth by choosing to live in love, by choosing to express our souls, by choosing to make a positive difference in the world. He also explained that our earthly lives are learning experiences, opportunities for growth and evolution. He said that our challenges and struggles are not punishments, but opportunities to learn, to grow, and to become stronger. He said that everything happens for a reason, even when we don't understand it. And then he gave me a choice. I could stay in that place of peace and light, free from the pain and struggle of earthly existence, or I could return to my body, to my life, and use my gift to make a positive difference in the world. Without hesitation, I chose to return. I knew that I had a purpose, a mission, a calling. I knew that I had to share my experience, to share the message I had received, to inspire others to embrace their true selves and live a life filled with love and joy. The next thing I knew, I was back in my body. I gasped for air, my lungs burning. I opened my eyes and saw the faces of my fellow dancers, their eyes filled with relief. I was alive. The doctors told me that I had been clinically dead for 8 minutes. They said it was a miracle that I had survived. But I knew it wasn't just a miracle. It was a second chance. Since that day, my life has been completely transformed. I still dance, but I dance with a new sense of purpose, a new sense of joy, a new sense of freedom. I no longer obsess over perfection. I focus on expressing my soul, on connecting with my audience, on sharing my love. I've also made a conscious effort to reconnect with my spirituality. I meditate, I pray, I spend time in nature. I seek to align myself with the divine source of love and light, to live a life that is in harmony with my true self and with the world around me. I've started teaching dance, and I make it a point to emphasize the importance of self-expression and vulnerability. I encourage my students to embrace their imperfections, to celebrate their uniqueness, to find joy in the process of movement. I want them to know that dance is not just about technique, it's about connecting with their souls, with their emotions, with their true selves. The biggest shift? I'm not afraid to fail anymore. In fact, I welcome it. Every stumble, every off-balance moment is a chance to learn, to grow, to push myself beyond my comfort zone. I realize that the real beauty of dance lies in the expression, in the vulnerability, in the raw emotion that comes from putting your heart and soul out there, even when it's messy. So, that's my story. The story of how I died, and how I learned how to truly live. The story of how I found my purpose, my joy, my true self. And now, I have a question for you. What is your dance? What is your passion? What is your gift? What is the unique contribution that you are meant to make to the world? Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let insecurity steal your joy. Embrace your vulnerability. Express your soul. Live a life filled with love and joy. The world needs your light. The world needs your love. The world needs you. Think about it. Really think about it. And don't wait for a near-death experience to start living your life to the fullest. Start now. Start today. Start with one small step towards embracing your true self and expressing your unique gifts. You never know what miracles might happen. Believe me, I know.